I have over 40 credit cards, an 800 plus credit score, and have helped hundreds boost their credit over 700. And in this video, you will know exactly what credit card that you should get based on your credit score. So we're going to be going over every credit score range and what's recommended so you can pick the right card for you. So let's start things off with a credit score between 350 and 499. Now, if your credit score is in this range, you're probably in the process of rebuilding your credit or have poor credit. The best options for you in this category are going to be secure cards. There are also unsecured cards, which means that they don't require a security deposit and work more like a traditional credit card, but they usually come with heavy annual fees and other fees just to keep the account open. It's really hard for me to recommend those unless you really want one of those cards, but you can really do without them because it's going to end up costing you more money. So my suggestion is to get secure credit cards that graduate. By graduating, I mean that once you have shown responsible credit card use, they can actually reduce you to a semi-secure card, which means that they can give you some of your security deposit back and provide you with a bit of credit to use. Or they can just graduate you to a traditional unsecured credit card, returning your security deposit and just giving you a normal card. Now, I get it, having a couple $100s as a credit limit doesn't sound all that exciting, but that's the point. It's not supposed to be. Credit cards at this level are like training wheels for you to get used to credit cards and how to use them properly, like making transactions and paying the balance in full by the due date, being aware of your credit limit, and just developing good credit habits. Here are some recommended cards that don't have an annual fee and will allow you to graduate to a traditional credit card. The Bank of America, Bank Americard Secure Credit Card, TD Cash Secure Credit Card, US Bank Secure Credit Card, and the Navy Federal and Rewards Secure Credit Card if you can get in. Next, we're going to be talking about people with fair credit in the ranges of 500 to 599. In this range, you should typically find unsecured credit cards that have lower fees and may have some rewards to help you build credit. You can still target secure credit cards that require a deposit, but you also have some unsecured options that you should be able to get. Some of the companies that are more favorable towards those with fair credit is Capital One. They have the Quicksilver One Rewards credit card and the Platinum MasterCard. So these are a great entry point for those looking to get into the Capital One ecosystem since they have plenty of great credit cards. In addition, once you have shown credit responsibility with the no annual fee credit cards, it is possible for you to do a product change to a similar card in the same category. Just be aware that you won't get the sign-up bonus when you do this. So before I move on, I gotta do a shameless plug. I do have a software that can help you do credit repair for a fraction of the cost that you would pay an agency. It is called Credit Rehab Pro, and it allows you to easily dispute as many accounts as you want across all 3 bureaus. In a matter of seconds, you can create dispute letters specific towards your situation and print them out at home. What's more is that if an account wasn't deleted, the software suggests a new strategy for additional disputes. You see, Credit Rehab Pro is not just another tool, it's kind of like a personal credit coach that guides you through the entire step in the right order. And the best part is that you have full control. You can repair your credit at your own pace in your own time. I do have a link down in the description if you want to check it out. Now let's move on to credit scores ranging between 600 and 699. In this credit score range, you are considered to have average credit. So towards the end of the spectrum, around 680, you're probably going to have higher probability of getting approved based on your credit profile. In this range, you should be able to find plenty of unsecured credit cards that have no annual fees, sign-up bonuses, and a decent reward system. Citi has some pretty great options like the Citi Custom Cash Card and the Citi Double Cash Card. Both of these cards may offer intro offers like 0% APR for a certain amount of time and cash bonuses. Bilt is another card that's a good option for those who rent. You may want to be in the higher end of the 600 levels, but this card allows you to earn rewards when you pay for rent. Plus, it has great reward categories to earn points, and you can transfer your points to travel partners if you are looking to get into the points and miles game. If you're at 680 and up, you should be able to have better chances with the no annual fee credit cards from major issuers like Chase. So this would include the Chase Freedom cards. Now, if your score is not in the high 600s, then credit unions may be a better option. The ones that I like to recommend people to go to is either Navy Federal or Penn Fed. Since credit unions can be very regional, you can find local credit unions near you that may have more favorable approval rates if you are a member or if you live in the local area. Now let's move on to the next range of credit scores, which are between 700 and 749. You start to see these numbers getting a little bit tighter since this is where you start to see a big difference in the credit cards that you can't get approved for. This is generally considered to be good credit. Rather than just your credit score alone, your credit profile also plays a big factor in which cards that you can get. For example, if you're a student that's new to credit, it is possible to reach the 700 levels within 6 months to a year just with responsible credit card use. However, there may be reasons of why you get denied, such as having a thin credit profile. At this credit level, you can qualify for almost any credit card that you want. So you can start looking at cards that are more geared towards travel with high welcome offers or sign-up bonuses. This is where you will get the most value, especially in the first year. So during the second year, you may want to reconsider whether or not the card is worth keeping based on the annual fee. So for credit cards in this range, I'd recommend the Chase Sapphire Preferred, Capital One Venture Rewards credit card, and the Citi Premier credit card, in that order. All of these credit cards have annual fees of $95, but they may be worth it due to their great rewards, earning potential, and welcome offers. I would only recommend these credit cards if you are into travel. Now, if you're not, there are plenty of great credit cards out there that don't have an annual fee that offer excellent cashback or points back multipliers. So some of the good options include the Capital One Save Your One Cash Rewards credit card, the Chase Freedom cards, and the American Express Blue Cash Everyday card. Now let's move on to the next range, which is between $750 and $850. This is where you probably have at least a year or two of credit history. At this range, you can qualify for pretty much any card that you apply for. In this credit score range, you can either get no annual fee credit cards or premium travel credit cards with annual fees that are greater than $500 a year. Now, this is where you will need to consider whether or not you want to spend that much money and if you get enough value from those travel credit cards. Many of these high annual fee cards are like forced coupon books where you would need to use those credits to make sure that the annual fee is worth it. So with these high annual fee credit cards, it's more about optimization than anything else. So some of these cards include the American Express Platinum, Chase Sapphire Reserve, Capital One Venture X card, and the Citi Prestige card. While it is possible to qualify for these cards with a lower credit score, your chances are much greater when you're above 750. If you're not into travel, you could pretty much go for any credit card that you want, as long as you structured your credit profile correctly and time your applications when your credit profile is at its best. That said, credit scores are just one factor determining whether or not you get approved for a credit card. So let's go over some of the things that you can do to improve your chances. You want to try to limit your hard inquiries within the past 6 months, and you want to keep your inquiries under 4 within the past 12 months. Hard inquiries have the most impact in the first year, but they remain on your credit report for at least 2 years. Many credit card lenders have unwritten rules where they prefer you to have 1 or even 0 hard inquiries within the past 6 months before they even approve you. The more you apply for credit cards or just get your credit pulled, the more it will look like you're desperate for credit. Second, try to lower your credit utilization before the statement due date. Doing this may give you enough of a bump to move your credit score into the next credit score range, which in turn should improve your odds of approval. Even for those on the lower end of the spectrum, managing your credit card debt can still help your credit score even if you have negative accounts. Now, if you're new to credit, you may not have any installment loans, such as auto or mortgages. There are plenty of credit builders or secure loans that can add a different account to your credit profile, making it more diverse and should help with your credit score. Lenders like to see some diversity in the type of debt that you can manage, so these can only help your credit score as long as you pay them off on time. If you follow these 3 tips, you have much better odds of approval than if you don't. While it is impossible for anyone to tell you for sure whether or not you get approved, there are pre-qualification tools that may help. However, some of these are not very useful unless you go through the complete application and they do a hard inquiry. But always take advantage of this tool if it is offered. Now that I've gone over the best credit cards for each credit score range, if your credit score is not where you want it to be, make sure you check out these videos over here where I go over how you can increase your credit score to better your approval odds for any type of lending that you want.